Good morning. Welcome to day one. This week is all about you. We are finding 20-30 minutes a day to get in some movement, and today is lower body strength. So we're going to start with a warm-up. When you're ready, come and join me. I am just going to be using a mat and a pillow today. I'll show you what it's like if you would like to use a dumbbell, but you don't need any equipment if you are not there yet, or if you want the intensity, grab some dumbbells and a bench. Okay, so let's get started with the warm-up. We're coming into camel cat. So we're going to inhale and tuck your tailbone under. Exhale and release, chin to sky, tailbone to sky. Inhale, push the ground away with each breath getting deeper into the movement. Exhale, release. Last one here. Inhale and exhale. So lower body today means we're going to be focused on a lower body warm-up. Coming into a strong tabletop now, moving the right knee towards the center. Fingers are spread nice and wide here, and you're going to curl the toe under to get a little bit more core stability. Going to push up and then come around for some hip circles. 2 going this direction, and then 2 going around the other way. Try to stabilize the core before you start the hip circles. We want to think about the core as squeezing everything towards the center. So it's not just bringing the obliques together, it's not just belly to spine, it's the whole entire core to that center. All right, coming to a little child's pose, and then into some hip flexion work, hip 90-90. You want one knee 90 degrees forward, one knee 90 degrees back. You're gonna come to the center and then switch to the other side. So you're trying to get the sits bones down and relaxed, and you'll really feel the hip flexor stretch. You can also see that I'm like moving forward, so make sure you have enough room, but this really feels delicious. Awesome. Last one on this side. Now without using your hands, come to a double kneeling position, and then get back onto your mat if you need to. We're going to bring one foot forward, push knee over toe to get the ankle flexion, and then all the way back to get the hamstring and calves. So we want to root that foot into the ground, push forward, and then bring it back and flex that toe towards you. You'll feel calves and hamstrings wake up. Now for the opposite side, doesn't matter what side you start on. I just try to start on my weaker side and push. Now one of my hips is definitely tighter than the other. As you go along, warm up. Make sure that you feel it out and understand where you're at with your body. We're going to come up to standing position and get into some alternating hip sweeps. So we're going to start back, shoot that tailbone back, and exhale up. Alternating feet as you move through this motion. And make sure that foot is rooted, otherwise you're going to lose balance. Already your whole legs should be warming up and just feel ready to work. Last 2, woo! And last one. Okay, we're gonna finish, warm up with some lateral lunges and some ankle work. So we're gonna push towards one side and then just lift up the opposite ankle, back to center, squeeze that 360 core together, push those hips back, and back to center. All warm-up exercises are fluid. We don't want to stay in one position for too long. And exhale. Last 2. This gets the body primed and ready to go. Now when you're stretching, you do want to stay in a stretch for 20 seconds or so, but that's because you're cooling down. Warm up, we definitely don't want to. You gotta make sure you keep that body moving. All right, let's finish warm up with some light bouncing. You don't even have to jump up. You just go to the toes like I am here. Nice strong core, bringing everything to that center. All right, ready to work. First, okay, warm up done. Let's get into our first superset. So I'm going to use a pillow, but you can also roll up your mat. Now, if you don't have a mat or a pillow, no worries. We're just going to get into body weight squats. What the pillow or rolled up mat does is elevate your heels. It helps us use more knee flexion so we can bias the quadriceps here. Now, body weight squats, especially full range of motion squats, is what we're looking for, and to bias those quadriceps. What we're going to do is put our hands nice and light in front. Now, if you would like to add intensity, grab a heavier dumbbell. We're going to root the feet into the ground. So try to splay your toes as much as you can first, spreading the toes, and then grab the ground with big toe, pinky toe, your heel. You're grabbing the ground that you feel like a soft little arch midfoot. Hands go nice and light, but core is on. You have a slight pelvic tuck forward. You're squeezing your glutes at the top. And as you go down, it's like you're pulling your pelvis, your stacked spine down. Knees are okay to go over toes. You're going to pause right here and then exhale, push. We have 10 total, and then we're going to go straight into our next exercise. So because we're going to be using 2 different parts of the legs, we can superset them with very little rest in between. This is a very effective way to train for building lean muscular mass, but then also for losing fat, because we don't have a lot of time. We've got busy lives. We're in and out 25 to 30 minutes, and this time is for you. It's helping you create this better version of yourself. Last 3. You'll notice as we train together, I'm not fantastic counting, so I might have snuck a couple more in there for you. If you're holding a dumbbell, hold it close to your chest. There we go. So now we're going to go straight into, so that was for quadriceps, now we're going straight into glute work. So as we go down for glute work, we're going to roll over onto our sides, push that pillow out of the way, and get into strong core position here. I'm just making sure I'm in the film. So you want to inhale, open, exhale, tuck that pelvis under, but then grab the ground with your feet. Nice strong core, strong glutes, even at the bottom. Then you exhale and lift. So if you're ready for extra weight, put the dumbbell up here on your pelvis and a nice light touch. These are simple glute bridges, but when you do them effectively, they're very hard. So you're thinking about squeezing a blueberry at the top, and then you inhale down. That blueberry is still there. It's just less tension in between your glute cheeks. So we've got 10 of these. So very easy, 10 and 10, one exercise right after the other for 3 rounds. After 3 rounds, then we get into an accessory set, and then we finish with some core. So we have last 2, last 1, hold at the top. I really want you to feel that blueberry between the glute cheeks in 3, 2, and 1. Slowly go down and all the way up, back to those squats. So you can grab a dumbbell now if you're feeling it. Otherwise, just continue to go into body weight squats. Now, we'll rest about 30 to 60 seconds in between. We want to make sure the quads are ready, the glutes are ready. But remember, each muscle group has a break in between with the exercise too. So we didn't really use quads just now on the glute bridges. We were using the glutes. So we can go right back into quads because they've had enough rest. What we're trying to do is find our level of exertion. Like, what is your 8 level? That means we're leaving 2 reps left in the tank. And exhale. Inhale down, exhale, push. We got 6 more. Keep it going. Last 4. Just 3. 2, push from the ball of the foot to stand so the hips and shoulders come up together. Last 1. Good. Oh, feeling the heart rate come up, feeling the intended muscle groups. Now I'm coming down on my side and then flipping over because of my diastasis repair. But however you come down, make sure it's the safe, best way. Inhale, open. Exhale, tuck. Root those feet into the ground. Another quick inhale, and then exhale and push. Good. Remember, you're squeezing the glutes at the top, focusing on a scoop. So as you inhale down, knees come towards you. Exhale, push, knees go out towards the wall. Breathing is very important too, because you want to keep the strongest core on when you're inhaling. When you exhale, it's another opportunity to solidify that core. So right here at the top, you kind of feel it out as everything working in conjunction. Yes, and then keep going. And push. So even here, my feet are rooted, big toe, pinky toe, and heel. Gaze is nice and neutral. We don't want to hold any extra tension in our neck or our shoulders. Last 3. Good. Make sure you push using the glutes. 2. And last 1. So push using the glutes. It really helps you by thinking about pushing into the edges of your feet. So when you're down, you bring the knees down, right? And you exhale up, think about pushing into the edges of your feet. It really brings the glutes together nicely. And that's the amazing thing about training with you live, is because I can help you cue those things. Okay, last one here. Last round, back into those quadriceps. All right, so last set, make sure you grab whatever dumbbell you need. Now, if you're using a dumbbell, you want to hold it close to your chest. You want to think about squeezing oranges underneath your armpit. You want that to be, the dumbbell to be a part of you. I'm going to show you from the side for this one, so that you can see my depth. So root those feet, big toe, pinky toe. I'm not even getting much elevation with the heel, but it is a little bit. Here we go. Inhale down, pulling that pelvis down, strong core, and exhale, push. If you really want to get spicy, you can add a pause right here. Exhale, push. Try not to lose that strong core. And then when you push from the ball of the foot, the hips and shoulders come up as one. It's like down, 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 hold, and push. We have 5 more. You can do this. Gaze is nice and neutral, meaning we're not holding any tension up here in the neck. If you smile, it truly does help release any tension. Tell my clients this all the time. Smile, stick out your tongue. It all helps. Last 3. Just 2. And push. Last 1. And exhale. Nice. Okay. Pillow to the side. Unroll your yoga mat if you used that. And last round for glute bridges. All right. Inhale. Open up your chest. Exhale. Tuck. Root those feet. Bring everything to that center. So it's not just belly to spine. You're pushing your rib cage down. You're tucking that pelvis under. Everything is holding tension in the glutes and the core. Quick inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. So a big mistake that I see a lot of people do is lose tension completely in the bottom here at the glutes. So it's not like this. You don't let your glutes rest and spread here at the bottom. You always hold a little tension. It's a hover. And then you exhale up, pushing into the edges of your heel. Inhale down, exhale up. Good. So to take it a bit further, let's say you've added the dumbbell. You're going to think about pressing into the edges of your feet, both feet at the same time. I always can feel when I get fatigued, I favor my right side. And now we can add the pause. Last 5, so pause at the top. If you're holding the dumbbell, it's right here. And then inhale down with control. Exhale, push, and pause. Inhale down with control. Just 3 more. Left and right at the same time. Gaze nice and neutral. Smile. Yes, you like it. And exhale, push, squeeze, and pause. Inhale down. Awesome work. So those were our major strength moves, 3 rounds, and now we're going to get into accessory work. All right, had a quick little water break. Now let's get into some accessory work. We're going to start with reverse lunge to a curtsy lunge. So I'm going to show you from the front first. We'll start with a weaker foot first, which for me is my left. So you want to root the left and come into a strong tuck here at the top and slight lift off with the right. You want to be balanced on that left side. You're going to inhale down for a reverse lunge, a glute bias lunge, which just means you're coming chest over thigh, and then straight into a curtsy lunge, chest over thigh. So it's first glute, reverse lunge, coming like railroad tracks, and then it's knee behind knee for that curtsy. We've got 10 on each side, and then we have some abductions to finish our accessory work. So 10, meaning 1 reverse, 1 curtsy is 1. So that was just 4. Here's 5. Good. You're always thinking about that chest over thigh and then push with the ball of the foot. 6. You've got it. And push. Nice relaxed upper. All the tension is in that backside. I feel it. Hope you are too. Last 2. Inhale down, exhale push, and last 1. So I'm working out in barefoot, which is what I would recommend for you. Wearing sneakers sometimes adds too much instability to the foot. You can't grab the ground. So I do not recommend wearing sneakers while you are weight training. Okay, if you want to kick it up a notch, make sure you grab that dumbbell. You can hold it here, or you can hold it to your side. If you want just 1, if you want 2, you can hold it front loaded or to your side. Let's get into the right side right away. Nice strong core. Lift off on the left, rooted on the right. Inhale back, chest over thigh, and knee behind knee. You can see I'm using my arms to help me, but that's because I'm doing these body weight. If I was holding dumbbells, you have to keep your arms in locked position. Going chest over thigh and up. Let's slow it down a little so we really can feel that intended muscle group. And exhale. It's almost harder to do it slower. Might be easier on my heart, but definitely harder on the muscle. It gets fatigued a lot quicker. Nice. Last 3. Smile and release tension. There we go. Just 2. Remember, 2 is 1. Reverse lunge, then a curtsy. That was the last one. And rest, march that out. Okay, now we're gonna get into our second accessory exercise, which is simply some abductions. So we're going to root the left foot, bring the right knee to the left knee, but make sure the thighs are flush. And then we're going to come up, feeling the glute minimus, and inhale down. Exhale up and inhale down. Now, if you need a little bit more for this, you can add a band to about 2 inches above your knee, and that'll really help add tension to the glute minimus. But I'm telling you, if you do it right, sometimes body weight is enough. I want to show you from the side, so I'll switch each time so you can see different directions, but I'm actively pushing my right foot into the wall. Tension is climbing up my hamstring into my glute minimus. And then I'm getting a lot of ankle work here on the left side. My thighs are staying parallel. One knee is not in front. And exhale. Okay, I'm going to show you from the back because I think you can see pretty good what's happening. Always root that right foot. So you're going to be getting a booty shot, but a helpful booty shot. Now when you set up, you want to tuck slightly forward for that strong core, and then push your left foot back towards the wall. Now look at that tension. Bring knee to knee and exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. The breath is important here. You want to make sure you use the exhale to climb the knee, to help the knee climb up. And exhale. Try to stay stacked from the pelvis to the nape of the neck, bringing your U shapes into the shoulders, which just means the relaxed tension in your neck. Last 4. Smile, 3. Keep pushing that foot back. 2. And last 1. Awesome. Okay, right back into reverse lunge to a curtsy. Left foot rooted, right foot back for that reverse lunge. Exhale up, and then knee behind knee. Good. Now make sure to slow it down. It's all about balance and control, not so much wanting to go quick. There is a time to go quick. If you're needing to develop power, maybe you're working on your back hamstring, or you're working on getting faster, like sprints, then there is a time to use tempo. But right now, to build lean mass, to tone and lose fat, we want to make sure to have control over our body, over our muscles, thinking knee over chest over knee, and inhale down. This is last 3. Smile. Last 2. Getting that range of motion that's best for you. And last 1. Push with the ball of the foot. And exhale. Woo! Wipe that out. Okay, now always try to switch directions for you so you can see from different sides. Right foot rooted. Nice strong tuck at the top. Squeeze those glute cheeks together at the top. If you're holding a dumbbell, right here, or front loaded. And here we go. Chest over thigh. And inhale down. That's 1. No miscounting here. You're so much more capable than what you think. And that's really what this week is for, is to prove to yourself you can do anything. If you commit, you follow through on what time you do have, you can do it. Good. It's when you decide you can't is when you fail. When you say, I can't. So I tell my girls, so I tell myself, last 3. You got it. Feel that stretch, that beautiful stretch the side of the glutes, just 2. Nice. And last 1. Inhale down. Woo! March that out. Okay, straight into these abductions for the glute minimus. The glute minimus is a tiny little part of the glutes layered underneath the glute max. So here's your glute max. Glute medius is this top shelf here, and then the glute minimus kind of rides underneath that. We need all 3 to be built up to have that nice torpedo booty, that peach. Okay, left foot rooted, right foot presses back into the wall. Exhale up and inhale down. You can see my hips and my shoulders stay level. Now if you want to increase, get a heavier band, and you'll really feel it. But what's really important is always continuing to press this heightened foot into the back wall. Good. And then if you need a light touch on something, that's okay too. You can use a nice light touch. Last 3. Inhale down, just 2. And last 1 here. Nice work. Okay, last side. And then we're gonna get into some core. Right foot rooted, push back the left. Okay, once you get, I didn't have my strong core that time. Once you get into strong core, exhale up and inhale down. So you're thinking about like your thigh, your inner thighs, these are called adductors. You're thinking about them like opposing magnets. What happens when you put, well, when you put 2 opposing magnets together, they come together like solid. They don't want to leave each other. That's like you're pushing them together. And then when you're pulling apart, you're like the same magnet pulls. It's like they're resisting each other. You have control over that feeling. So keep pushing this heightened foot towards the back wall to create more of that sensation. It's building that connection. The nerves are actually, so if this is your muscle, the nerves are actually all around the muscle. So your brain does have a lot to do with how you train. Last 1. Okay. Nice. Okay, grab a cup of water. Sip. Let's get into strong core position. So take an inhale, open up the chest, and then exhale and crumple up your core like you're crumpling up a piece of paper. So from here, the core is a piece of paper, and then you squeeze, crumple it up in your hand. Nice strong tug. Everything is coming together in that position. And you're squeezing the glute cheeks like they're holding a blueberry in between them. You're pressing your feet into the ground. You're going to come up to half of a glute bridge variation. So not all the way up, but halfway up right here. And then you're just going to alternate stomping feet. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. Good. You're going to continue for another 8, 10 total. We used core for every single exercise that we did today. This is extra. This is isolated core work. 3, 2, and last 1. Good. Come down nice and slow. And you can repeat that for as many times as you want. If you wanted to do another round because you weren't feeling it as well, make sure you get that strong core on first, push up to midway and start. You can do like 3 to 5 rounds of isolated core work. All right, awesome job. Day 1, done. Lower body. Can't wait to see what day 2 brings. If you have any questions, let me know. I will check in to see how you're feeling.